and next we're going to hear a story on leadership in the everyday and the value of being human, and ideally a good human. Jennifer Wilkins, class of 2017.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Jennifer, and I am a leader. I am guilty of using we before me. I plan, I set goals. Sometimes I succeed and often I fail, but I always learn from everything that I do. I remember my first CLN experience a little over a year ago at the weekend retreat, where I had the opportunity to answer the time-old question that just about every leadership conference ever asks you to reflect upon, which is, who is your inspiration? You know, what inspires you? Is there a famous person that represents leadership to you? Or who is it that nominated you? As everybody went around the room at this leadership retreat, I slowly panicked. And probably remembers this, that in that moment, everybody talks about a famous author, musician, someone that they really look up to, and I panicked because I don't have that person. And I even said to the class, I don't have a person, but my goal is by the end of CLN, I will have a person. This is one of those examples where I did fail. I don't have a person still, right? But I no longer have to say, I grew up in a box, I don't know who that famous person is, I don't know that author, the MTV star, but instead I know where I come from, which is a farm life. So it wasn't in a box where I grew up, it was out on the farm, so thanks to Justin for bringing up that reference as well. So the reason I bring this up is, this is what influences me. It taught me work ethic, and I learned a lot of tough lessons and a lot of great lessons from everything on the farm. Some of them include learning how to organize my cats in a Fisher-Price grocery cart and wheel them down the cart at the barn. Or a really tough lesson, getting booted by a ram and flying across the yard, just days before he became dinner. His name was Harvey. For most, it might be funny to think, I knew the names of what was on my dinner plate, and vegetarians won't appreciate that, but for me, it was a part of life. And it represented who I was and the work ethic that was surrounding me. So even after I moved off of the farm, cats and animals still continue to influence my life. In 4th grade, my parents sat me down for a difficult conversation, brought to the kitchen. I said, Jen, we're moving to Buffalo. Land of the snow, Buffalo Bills, an indoor pool, my mom getting a big promotion. You'd think most people would be very nervous about this and thinking, how am I going to make new friends? My first question, can Teddy Bear come with me? That was all that I needed. All I needed to confirm in this big move across the state, central New York to western New York, was can Teddy Bear come with me? And I bring that up because I knew even at that point, as my leadership journey was beginning, a long time ago, that I knew that I needed that comfort. The people that surround you, you're not a leader alone. You need to bring those that support you best. Well into my high school years, I could be easily distracted by horses. So all throughout my life, I do Denise would lunch, appreciate the horse reference. So this is a picture of Nitez. Nitez represents the hard work and perfection it takes to compete in a horse show, whether it's here in western New York or central New York or all the way up to Canada. It was something that I spent many long hours with. And even after getting stepped on by a 2,000-pound horse, I still endlessly begged my parents to get one for me. And while I didn't get to that choice, that opportunity, I did ask for my 16th birthday for my very own saddle. A lot of people ask for their car. I wanted a saddle for my horse. And so this perfectly timed photo, you can see it a little bit here. None of Nitez's feet are touching the ground. For me, this represents, that idea of working for a boss, a supervisor, in this case, a judge, where I earned a grand champion. And I was floating across, through life, and I was well, and I was successful. In college, I was represented by a prairie dog. So a cute, fuzzy animal. At the zoo, I found it as comfort in the prairie dogs, and I was incentivized to earn good grades, and my parents would let me get a prairie dog that worried down, created little networks of her own. Her name was Paprika. She was the spice of my life. Okay. Actually, so her belly, you can't see it too well in this picture, but it has kind of a reddish hue, which emulates that color of Paprika. It's pretty interesting. But so the reason I bring up the networking component with her is they do build networks and tunnels. That's where their homes are. And in this opportunity, this is where my formal leadership training began with my dad. He was a home inspector. He came down to Fredonia to inspect many homes for Fredonia leaders, and that's how I was nominated to participate in the leadership development program as a sophomore in college, and then formally grow from there to resident assistant, a residence director, and then move on from there. I fast forward a little bit more. A cute pregnant, or not pregnant kitten. We've got about 4 or 5 kittens there. This is our cat Molly. I bring this up because when I was 7.5 months pregnant with my son Charlie, the vice president called me into his office and said, "Jen, can you assume an acting assistant vice president role for student affairs?" I'm 7.5 months pregnant. But you don't say no when you're asked to rise to the challenge, right? That's what every good leader knows. You figure out, how am I going to make this work? 7.5 months pregnant, I have a limited amount of time. And I did. I proved myself I was successful right up until the day before I gave birth. At that point, I found that I could grow in my career. I found a new passion and where I wanted to be. First, as an education major, I love children, but I slowly realized that the transition from wanting children to be a part of my life to having them be a part of my family was even more important. So I built my family, I got it to where I wanted it to be, and then I had all the positions. And then from there comes this cute picture of my son Charlie with his first pet. Now, when life hands you lemons, you're on top of the world, right? You make lemonade. That's the saying. In my case, it was spiked lemonade. I needed that spiked lemonade. I had the perfect life, kid, family, great job, good career. Divorce. Hit me hard. I built up this life that I was proud of, that my grandparents were proud of. I gave them all a first grandson, a great-great-grandson even. So for me, I had to take a step back and reevaluate what was important to me, what meant the most to me, and it was him. It was Charlie, right? And the way that he looked at that animal. This was his very first pet. Did I mention I was a hall director for 10 years living on campus? This was the only fuzzy pet I was allowed to have. So it was in the twinkle of his eyes as he looked at that pet, and he found that connection. He was too young to recognize divorce, but for me, it was a reminder of what was important in life. And so that's where I bring this picture up into play. Now, fast forward a few more years, I grew my own farm. I go back to my childhood days. What was important to me? What did I value most? It was a farm. It was a family. Right? It was the people that surrounded me. And Charlie and I grew by 4 new individuals, my husband and his 3 children. But we also grew a farm much larger than that. It may be hard to see or count in this picture. Thankfully, we maxed out at 15 guinea pigs, 2 dogs, and a cat that came and went constantly. So our list of prayers grew each night. And I bring this up because it allowed us the opportunity to be thankful. I taught Charlie as we separated and went through hard times the value of being thankful, of being present where we are, and recognizing those that helped us to get where we are. So all of you here today as colleagues, as friends, of course my family, my forever husband, they are a part of my journey. They are part of who made me a good leader. And I think it's important to recognize that I built my own personal board of directors, and you can all do the same.